This conference will now be recorded.
All right, good morning, everyone. It is 8:03 on October 15th, 2020. Thank you all for joining the Kingston Local Development Corporation for its October meeting. We are going to just take a quick roll call to make sure that we've got everybody here. So, Mandy, do you want to just take a tally of who you've got?
Mandy, you're muted.
Hey, Mandy, I don't think we're here.
Do you have me?
Yes, Rich, we've got you. Yep.
Okay. Because I see everybody, but I don't see myself.
Yeah, no, we don't see your video, but we hear you, Rich.
You can turn on your video. There's a little button up on the top.
Okay, now I see me. Thank you, Andy.
You're welcome.
I am electronically challenged.
Can't hear you, Mandy, no.
I can't wait till we can actually meet in person again. This will be so much easier.
It will. Although I have to admit, I like the rolling out of bed and just going to the meeting part. That's
Yes, I agree. And you can make your own coffee.
yeah, exactly. We could do without the cacophony of dogs, of course, but
Hey, that's part of your life, you know?
yeah.
Well, Steve, do you just want to call the roll?
Yeah, we'll just get started. And so far, just so we know, I've got Andy Turk 11, I have Rich Matthews, I have B.A. Feeney, I have Courtney Strong, I have Hayes Clement, and Brad Jordan. Is there anyone else that is here that I do not see? Okay. And so that is enough for us to be able to get started for today. Thank you all. I know it's been a couple of months since we were all together, but thanks for making the time today. Got a couple things that we have to go over. First, I would like to be able to have a motion to adopt kind of the video minutes from our last.
Hayes Clement, so moved.
B.A. Feeney, second.
Thank you, Hayes. Do I have a second? Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, thank you. That passes. Mandy, do you want to see if you can talk yet? No, we still can't hear you.
Do you have your microphone on, Mandy?
All right, so we'll just keep going. We'll see how far we can get. And so up next, I think if, DA, if you're ready, do you want to do our treasurer's report?
No, that'll be fine. Good morning, everyone.
Good morning, BA.
It's been quite a while since we've done this, so I have update, and I'll do the update as of the end of the third quarter, end of September. Currently, we have a total of 19 credits outstanding. Principal balance at this point, $868,451. Of those 19 total credits, 11 of them were the existing credits that we had on the books before we started doing the smaller pandemic style loans. Just to break out, we have 8 of those pandemic credits, 8 notes at $7,500. They are just rolling out of the extended non-payment period, and their first payments for each of those 8 credits are to begin during the month of November. We have one note that is paying not as agreed, and that's the one that's been in litigation for as long as. That is DFC Distributor, $32,952. So our total net outstanding loans as of the end of September is $835,499. So we do have a solid portfolio. Everyone is paying as agreed. During the pandemic itself, or during the last 6 months, I should say, of those original 11 credits, we only had 3 that requested any type of deferment, and that was based on the situation with COVID. Those 3 notes are back into a repayment status as of now. So as I said, everybody back on track. We are paying as agreed. Income versus expenses for operations for the KLDC as of year to date, end of September. Income up till that point, $109,000. That is primarily composed of land rent from the Kingston Business Park. Secondary sources would be interest income from the various loans and from the various bank accounts. We do have expenses year to date totaling $103,422. The 2 largest items within that block are salary and wages, which has historically been the highest numbers, as well as the interest payments on the 108. Smaller items, obviously marketing, office expenses, insurances, legal and accounting fees make up that. But as of the end of September, we're showing a net income positive, $5,686 on paper. We have a couple of things just that I normally just keep everybody up to date on: the HUD payments and New York State DOT. Very happy to say New York State DOT, we have 1 payment remaining, which is due in January of 2021. It's approximately $27,500. That will then satisfy that obligation to New York State, and that was for the construction of the road up and through the business park. The HUD payments, we've made 1 principal payment in June, our annual principal payment. We've had interest payments done, made in January and August. And at this point in time, from the original borrowing, our remaining balance is at $500,000. So again, moving in a very, very good direction. The Kingston Business Park, just to give you a quick snapshot, we are showing again a very positive status. Rental income from there was $90,000. We have an insurance expense, we have the marketing and some legal and accounting expenses, as well as utility expenses. And they total approximately $17,000 in operating expenses. On the P&L statement, we do reflect the DOT payment, but if you take that DOT payment that was made in 2020 out of the profit and loss statement, and I'll explain why in a moment, we do show an operating income from the business park that's over $73,000. We have to list the DOT payments, and that's our auditors have said we have to list them as non-operating expenses. But our bank accounts, over the last several years, we have segregated bank account monies for those particular items, for the New York State DOT payments, as well as the payments for HUD. Our bank balances at this point in time are over $3.4 million in various accounts. And as I said, we have money set aside, and we have had for several years now, to make payments in full for the DOT and make payments in full for the HUD loans that are outstanding. So from a treasurer's report, that is really just the update, and that's pretty much the quarterly update that I do normally. What I'd like to do is just move on to the document that everyone should have received, which is the budget and financial plan. And the secondary item, which is the exact same information, but it is in the format that Mandy and the KLDC have to submit to the ABO. The information is the same, but I just want to touch on a couple of items. Operating revenues, again, it reflects the payments, rental payments that we have, $90,000 from the business park and $586. And that's actually a rental payment from the Trolley Museum. We do receive that on an annual basis. We have loan repayments. We have bad debt recovery that is listed in there, also estimated for 2020, and then estimated out for 2021 and proposal for 22, 23, and 24, which is what we are required to do for the ABO, is to provide a 5-year plan. Non-operating revenues, again, figures based on historical, that is interest income. They are estimated going forward, as we have done in years past. The operating expenditures, we have salary and wages, and that will change in 2021, and I believe the mayor will touch base a little bit, but we do show a reduction in what our portion of salary and wage being paid from the KLDC is. We do have professional services that we have estimated, and that is based on historical data, roughly $1,000 a month, and that's for the auditor and the attorney. Supplies and material, and then insurance is the business park expenses. But if you take a look at the bottom, and what does show as a glaring item, it shows excess or deficiency of revenues and capital contributions over expenditures. On paper, it does show a negative figure. That is not quite correct. On paper, it does. However, as I mentioned before, we have money set aside in various bank accounts to pay out the annual payments for HUD and the New York State DOT. Those items are actually referenced just above the total expenditure figure, and they are listed as other non-operating expenditures, HUD repayment, principal and interest, and DOT. As I said, those items are paid. They are earmarked to be paid in balances set aside. So if you remove those from the equation, our estimated income, or I should say excess of revenue, for 2020 is truly over $27,000. And for each of the years, 21, 22, 23, and 24 proposal, it's just over $37,000. So the KLDC is operating in the black. We do have plenty of funds on reserve to pay the obligations that we have. And we do have plenty of money in reserve if we do receive qualified loan applications. So again, I think at this point in the year, 3/4 of the way through, we are in very good shape. The budget and financial plan that Mandy's put together is very, very solid. The second document, as I said, is the document that, or the format that has to be submitted to New York State, to the ABO. The information is exactly the same from the plan that we have created at the KLDC in Kingston as what is being submitted to Thomas DiNapoli's office, the New York State Comptroller. The figures are the same. Questions? Try and answer any questions anyone might have.
Yeah, I got one. And I think I brought it up last time. So we have 3 million in the bank, but we're only showing 6,900 in interest income for the year. I mean, even at 1% a year, we get 30,000. It seems like we're leaving some money on the table. I don't know. We keep talking about trying to look where we could place some of that money if we're not going to loan it. I know we have it set aside for the DOT payments, but we certainly should be getting, I know even in this environment, 1 to 2%. When you agree on some of that money?
Obviously, looking to maximize investment, yes, correct. We are limited to some degree in what we can invest it in. Right now, it is receiving interest in a sorted money market account or checking account. There may be stronger options. I know we've looked periodically. It's never been a decision the board has made to move money from A to B, but that certainly is something that we should be looking at. Ideally, we'd be looking to loan more money, yes.
Either loan it or go to municipal bonds or something. I mean, Steve, we should look into that. I mean, if we have that kind of money sitting in the bank, realistically, it's somewhere between $30,000 and $60,000 worth of income, as opposed to the 6,900 that we're showing. I mean, we're getting.
And that may just be an opinion, as you said, perhaps municipal bonds, if that is allowable under our charter, and that's something that certainly we'll follow back up on. Yes, Brett.
Rich, I think you're muted. Just hold on 1 second, okay?
Okay.
Yep, now go ahead, yep.
I just think that we're limited by what we have in the marketplace to do. I think you said that, BA. We tried to get the best return we can, but we're limited by the marketplace as to what we can do, right?
That part is correct, and I apologize. I don't know beyond if municipal bonds are allowable under our charter and or New York State. That's something that we can investigate.
I agree with Brad. We should try to maximize it, but in some ways, the marketplace dictates that because of the organization we are, we have to limit our options.
But Rich, we can ladder out some CDs even. We know we're allowed to. What are you guys paying on the CD right now, PA? Do you know?
Anywhere between, depending on term, anywhere between 10 and 30 basis points.
Okay.
Unfortunately, and Brett, ideally, yes, but just the environment in general is very, very, and has been very challenging throughout much of this year. I know from our bank perspective, we're looking at what we are paying out on some of our deposit rates. We've been adjusting them downward probably the last 5 months. And that's more a function of our investment.
If, again, just on that 6,900, that's paying 0.002% on 3 million. Now, obviously, we can't invest the entire 3 million, but we're getting less than 0.25%. So I think we should certainly look at it and see where what we're allowed to do and what we can do, and we can ladder it out. I know we have structured payments coming out in the future, but there's got to be ways we can get more than $6,900 worth of interest on 3 million.
Understood. I mean, I can certainly follow up. I can email and send out. We can look at what options we have. And then at that point, just direction which way to go. Work on that in the next 2-3 days and get that back out to everyone and then ask opinion on that.
I think that's good. I agree with Brad that we should maximize what we can get, but within the limits that we have to work with.
One thing about the budget that I just want to go over briefly is that you saw the reduction in salary expenses, or I don't know exactly what that was called, but the general concept there is that we've had some staffing changes in the community development office, and Mandy has taken over, more work to help lead the office and, get us caught up on all of our community development block grant initiatives that we're working on. And so I've requested really to have a little bit more of Mandy's time and in essence reduce the amount of charge to the KLDC. And so that is that change there. I don't think that we will see as an organization really any change for us, as Mandy is just amazing and is doing the best she can to multitask, but I just felt as though it was maybe time for us to reduce the KLDC contribution. So that's kind of where that came from. I don't know if anyone has any specific questions about that, but that's why we made that change there.
My only comment would be that it's a good government employee, less time and less money. More time and less money.
Yeah, that's pretty much how it works. We all work hard. So if there are no other questions about the budget, this is something that we do need to get a vote on, so that we can get this submitted to the ABO in time for their guidelines. So do I have a motion to approve the 2021 budget?
I'll move it, Brad.
Second.
Second.
All right, so I think Brad moved it first, and then Rich seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
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 Opposed? All right, none
Listen,
opposed?
I just want to make a quick comment, and I want to say thank you to Mandy for putting the information together. Obviously, it's been a long time since we have all gotten together, so I do appreciate her assistance very, very much. Thank you.
Ditto.
Yes, thank you, Mandy and BA, for your work on all of
For
this.
less money too.
The other thing that we had on our agenda today, and something that we have to do each year, is we have to review our policies. You know, I believe Mandy has sent out the policies, and so I'm not sure if anyone has any specific changes that they'd like to make. I know that, you know, generally I haven't heard over the last couple of months of any concerns related to our policy, but it's always good for us to check in each year to figure out if there are any changes that need to be made.
I've checked them. I don't think there's anything has to be made. Any changes?
Yeah, I'll move them, Steve, Brad.
Second.
All in favor of adopting our policy?
Aye.
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 Opposed? All right, none opposed. Thank you very much. And I'm trying to think if we actually had any other business for today. I think those were the two most important things. Oh, the one thing I wanted to just mention, and I know I think Mandy sent this out to folks, but recently, earlier this year, the New York State Comptroller's Office was given the ability to audit, if you will, local development corporations across the state. That's generally just been in the purview of the state budget authority, but now the Comptroller's Office has gotten that authority as well, and so we are lucky to be one of the first to get to work with the Comptroller's Office for one of their audits, and so Mandy is going to be working with the team from the Comptroller's Office, you know, most likely starting next month or, you know, earlier this winter to kind of go through everything that they're looking for. And so, you know, we're very much looking forward to that. It will be a lot of work, but I think what it does is it really does help us make sure that we're doing everything that we can, you know, correctly. And also, it's a great opportunity for us to, you know, showcase the good work that we are doing, and that we are kind of, you know, doing everything to not only the letter of the law, but, you know, above and beyond what we have to do. So we're looking forward to having Mandy spend a lot of time on that. So we all may also get involved. They do sometimes look to speak to board members, and so you may be contacted by the Comptroller's Office in the months ahead, and so that's what it's all about. And I think the last thing that I wanted to talk about is just, you know, as we move into the future of the KLDC, I really do feel as though, you know, we are going to be able to play a stronger and stronger role in how we help to move kind of the economic dial here in the city of Kingston. I think that, you know, you all were around. It was before my time. I was coming in just at the tail end of it. But you were all involved in the Bank of America building on Broadway. you know, kind of coming through the hands of the KLDC, getting that out, you know, onto the market, if you will, and getting that into the hands of a very, you know, now in a very good use. And it's great to be able to see that building, you know, be full every single day. And I think that the KLDC had a big part of that, which I felt was, you know, really very positive. And so I think with this, we have really, you know, seen that there will be more opportunities like that, I believe, in the KLDC's future. And so I think that as we look at our policies, I think it is important for us to kind of look at what our kind of acquisition and disposition policy is. I know, I think it's really well written, and I think gives us some pretty wide latitude to be able to help the city of Kingston, you know, do some really important work in the coming, you know, months and years ahead. And so as, you know, specific proposals come up, I'll be, you know, getting it out to all of you. And so that we can have further conversations, you know, and specific about, you know, what we're thinking. But I just think that it's going to be, I think, an exciting time for us in the city and for the KLDC to be able to play a bigger role in economic development going forward. And then hopefully we'll be able to pair some of our loan funds to some of these, you know, projects that are up and coming.
Steve, I
Yep,
know
that's all I
Mandy
had.
can't talk, I know Mandy can't talk, but we're still marketing the property, right? The industrial park? Yeah, so are we on LoopNet? And we're
Yeah,
not,
we're
we
on,
have no,
we're on all those places.
and no broker, we don't have it listed or anything. It's just,
Correct.
we're listing it ourselves on LoopNet only.
Yes, we don't have a broker at this point, and we are, you know, generally actively, you know, continuing to, you know, promote the business park, but we also, Mandy just went to a lot of the local banks to reconnect with them, kind of now that the bank branches are starting to reopen, to be able to provide them, you know, the information about our loan programs. Remember the rack cards that we created kind of before the pandemic began? We've been now going back out and trying to reconnect with folks so we can get, you know, us back on you know, everyone's mind that we have money, that we are available, and that we want to help.
That's great, and I hope that we can help moving forward. But I think one of the things that we have to remember is that looking at all the work that BA and Mandy have put into this, that we're in great shape compared to where we were a few years ago. And I think that's important.
Agreed. I think that, you know, having a firm financial footing as an organization is going to allow us to do, you know, much more than we would have if we were still dealing with the, you know, all of the things that we inherited from a long time ago. So I think that we're able to kind of start on a good foot forward.
Yeah, thank you.
Does anyone have anything else at all that they'd like to chat about? If not, we will Okay. Can I have a motion to adjourn then?
So moved.
Thank you, Rich. Do I have a second?
Santa Claus.
Thanks, DA. All right. So I will talk to you all soon. We are hopefully we'll be back together next month.
Okay, stay safe, everybody.
Thanks, everybody. Bye-bye.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
Brad, good luck with Clemson.